Welcome back to No Bias Hoops. Today we're talking about the 2025 NBA draft and who I think won the draft and who I think lost the draft. So let's get into winners first. First, I have the Dallas Mavericks. Obviously, they got Cooper Flagg with only a 1.8% chance to get him. And Cooper Flagg is way better than anyone else in this draft. He is likely going to be a superstar one day. And they get him with a 1.8% chance in the draft lottery, so the Mavericks are definitely winners of this draft. Then I have the San Antonio Spurs. They were able to get Dylan Harper, who is way better than the 3rd, 4th, 5th picks. The gap between Cooper Flagg and Dylan Harper is much smaller than the gap between Dylan Harper and the 3rd pick, DJ Edgecombe. So getting Dylan Harper there, as well as Carter Bryant, I'm pretty sure that's what they got with their 14th pick, as well as some other players. So they're going to add a lot of nice players to this good roster they already have, and it's going to be fun to watch them next season. Next winner, I have the Suns. They were able to take Khaman Maluach at 10 with the pick they got in the Kevin Durant trade, and they were also able to trade for Mark Williams using only a future 2029 pick. And that... what they have right now, they have a bunch of guards, and they bring in a lot of good front court depth. Mark Williams, when healthy, is one of the better centers in the NBA. Khaman Maluach has a lot of potential, and now they have those two in their front court, along with their 3 guards, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, and Jalen Green. So I really like that for them. They did also have to trade Liam McNeely, their 29th pick, in that trade. The next winner, I have Miami. At the 20th pick, they were able to draft Kasparas Yakachonis, which is a steal. Yakachonis, I wasn't as high on him as most people were, but he was often mocked at 6, like 8. He was mocked really high, and for them to get him at 20, he's going to fit this roster really well as a big playmaking point guard, which is what they need right now. So the Miami Heat are definitely winners for that reason. Then I have the Atlanta Hawks, which it might not seem as much. They got Derek Queen at 13 and then traded him to New Orleans for Asa Newell and a 2026 pick, which seems like a bad trade until you look at what that pick is. That pick is the highest pick of Milwaukee or New Orleans. And if you look at New Orleans, they were terrible this year. They traded CJ McCollum for Jordan Poole just barely. So they're now going to have Derek Queen, Jordan Poole. They got rid of Brandon Ingram. The team is in no position to win. Like, yeah, the West is interesting right now, but I see no way where the Pelicans make the play-in this year. And they traded a pick that is going to, like, they traded their own pretty much unprotected pick with a chance of Milwaukee being bad, maybe trade Giannis, and then they get Milwaukee's pick. I doubt that happens, but really Atlanta just traded down 10 spots for what could be like a top 5 pick next year. And that's a steal if you ask me. The other reason they're up here, they traded pretty much George Niang, Terrence Mann, and 1 first-round pick for Kristaps Porzingis. And he's been injured a lot, but Kristaps Porzingis next to Trae Young is going to be a potentially dynamic duo. So that's pretty much insane. I mean, they clearly won this draft in my opinion. They had the 13th pick, which is a decently high pick, but they turned the 13th pick into Asa Newell, the 23rd pick, as well as potentially a top 5 pick next year. And they were able to get Kristaps Porzingis for 2 role players they don't need. So the Hawks are a big winner in my opinion. Then you have the Nets, and they drafted a record 5 players in the first round, which is incredible. And the Nets are just searching for an identity right now, and getting 5 players, including Yegor Demon, who I think could be one of the better players in the NBA in the future. He has all the things you can't teach. He has size, he has athleticism, he's a great passer, and you can't really teach that. He's not the best shooter, but he has shown flashes of good shooting, and if he can get his shooting good, he could be a very good player for Brooklyn. They were also able to grab 4 other players. A lot of them were guards, and they do already have Cam Thomas and stuff, but they're now going to probably be making more moves because you've taken 5 rookies. They might have even taken 6. You can't fit that many players on your roster, so they're likely going to trade maybe a Cam Johnson or something. But they're searching for their identity, and there's no way in my mind that they don't hit on at least one of those 5 first-round picks. Okay, I have 2 teams in the middle now. That's the Utah Jazz and the Philadelphia 76ers. The reason I give the Sixers somewhere in the middle is because I don't love the VJ Edgecombe pick. VJ Edgecombe looks okay to me. I don't love him as a pick. I thought he would for sure go forward to Charlotte. But the real reason is because of Ace Bailey. And it's kind of out of their control. He canceled the workout the whole trip. He did it with everyone. It's almost like he was trying to fall in the draft, and I'll talk about that more in a second. But they pass on him because of where he wants to go. And ultimately, the teams who are drafting have control. The Jazz drafted Ace Bailey, and he has to play for them. He can't just refuse to sign his draft contract, because if he did, I'm sure he would be suspended or banned from the NBA for a while, because you can't just decide not to sign your draft contract. I don't think anyone's ever done that, and that would be mind-blowing in my opinion if he just decided that he wasn't going to sign the contract with Utah. So basically, he is the best player available at 3, but the Sixers passed on him because of what he wanted, and I don't think that's the right move for Philly, but I mean, that's what they did. So that's why I put him in the middle, because they also drafted Janai Broome, and I think he's underrated. I think the NBA way underrates older players. One of the best players in last year's draft was Dalton Knecht. He was older. We've seen older players play well, like Jaime Jaquez. They come in, they make big differences for winning teams on small contracts, and I think that Janai Broome could do that potentially. VJ Edgecombe definitely is not terrible, and that's why I put them in the middle. They're definitely not losers of the draft, but I just can't say they're a winner of the draft because of Ace Bailey. Then you have the Jazz, and Ace Bailey is doing some interesting things right now. I might make a video about it tomorrow, but Ace Bailey is basically, he hasn't reported to the Jazz yet, which is all the other rookies have. He canceled his workout with every team, and he was trying to fall to Brooklyn because I guess he thought he would have a better chance to play there, get more money in the future, but ultimately, I don't know why he wouldn't want Utah. And I do, because most NBA players don't want to play for Utah. But he's not going to Utah. Well, he probably will go to Utah. We don't know the full situation yet. But ultimately, Ace Bailey, he could do some pretty bad things for Utah. He could potentially request a trade, which that would be insane, requesting a trade before playing a single game for the team as a rookie. But it was the right pick. The Jazz, he's the best player available at 5. There is no doubt in my mind that they made the best pick. And if he would just go and play, then this is a steal of the draft. But the issue is, he might not. And I don't think he will. If he plays for Utah, then there probably are easily winners of this draft. But yeah, and I kind of just rambled, but Ace Bailey, he hurt the Jazz, and I don't know if it's going to work out. They also got Walter Clayton Jr. trading up for him, and that is incredible. Like I said, the NBA undervalues good 23-year-olds. Just because they're older does not mean that they're like don't have any potential or anything. Because if you watched March Madness at all, Walter Clayton was lighting it up, and that having him on the Jazz is going to be great for the next few years. Then I just have 3 losers. The first one is, in my opinion, the Portland Trailblazers. They traded down to get Young Hansen, and the reason why they're losers, in my opinion, is because Young Hansen would likely go in the second round. And they could have traded down farther and gotten more, but I just don't love taking Young Hansen in the first place. They drafted Klingon last year, and Young Hansen's a huge risk. He could be really good, but I'm not entirely sold on him, so I just don't love that they traded down only a few spots, didn't get that much from Memphis, and draft a flyer of a player. The second team is the Charlotte Hornets. They trade Mark Williams for, in my opinion, not much. They get a 2029 first. That's really far in the future, and they really do not have an identity right now. They get Liam McNeely, too, who fell pretty far. I really like them getting Liam McNeely there, but it's interesting. I don't know if they should have traded Mark Williams. If you look at what they would have got at the deadline if that trade hadn't been rescinded, this is significantly less, and I just don't love that trade. Then they also took Con Knuppel at 4, and I just don't like that at all. They could have had Ace Bailey, Trey Johnson, or Jeremiah Fears. All 3 of those, in my opinion, are better than Con Knuppel, and Con Knuppel is really good. I think he will probably be good for Charlotte, but I just don't love them taking him at 4. If they traded back to 5, 6, or 7, they probably could have got Con Knuppel, but instead they take him at 4, and I don't hate it, but I just don't really like that. And then our final loser is the LA Lakers, and it's really just a lack of what they could have done. And they took Adu Thiero in the second round by trading up for him, and ultimately they needed to get a center. In the draft, you're going to get players, they're on cheap contracts for about 4 years. And if they got a center who was respectable, they would have him under contract for 4 years, super cheap contract. He's young, he could get better. And they take Adu Thiero, who's really, really good, to be honest. He's an insane jumper. His vertical is insane. He's an athlete. He could be really good for them, but I just really wish they would have taken a center. Don't exactly know who they could have taken, but that's why they're not really loser, but I think they could have done more. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. See you next time on No Bias Hoops.